The business is a living, breathing thing outside of you. Does
Yeah.
it know what it wants to be when it grows up?
I have to keep asking myself, if not now, then when?
If you were told you had to keep the company for 5 years, do you
Yeah.
have a vision for what that business will become? Now, I'm not telling you to exit or not, but I'll tell you that if you just did that, you'll exit for more money than if you're just selling the assets of the thing that you're the solopreneur for. Good morning, Leslie. How are you?
Good morning. Hey,
Hey,
guys. So happy to be
congratulations
here.
on your big progress these last few months.
No kidding.
Thank you. All right. This is my issue. When is the right time to exit? So, okay. So my business will be sold. There's no doubt about it, because it's
Sure.
either I sell it or it dies. So those are my two choices. So it will be sold. And I've been thinking about selling it for years, actually. Let's go back maybe 5 years. And I have discussions with Quiet Light from time to time. I get it evaluated. And I'm just like back at that place again of, is it the right time to sell? And should I be selling it? So I will do 2.5 million this year.
Good.
And my sales are like 20% or even more than 2019,
Okay.
which is cool. And my, net is looking actually truthfully better than it's ever looked.
Good.
And I'm just keep going back, like, is it the right time? And I journaled about it a lot today, a lot this morning. So I'm really trying to like go deep and like why I should sell, and these are the reasons, and why I shouldn't sell, or these are the reasons, and what is the biggest fear around selling. So what I realized this morning is that I have to sell. And I'll tell you why. I want to be doing other things, and I'm already doing other things. So I've written a book. I'm already consulting. This is like my future and my path. Like my path is to inspire, to help, to give, to help other women entrepreneurs be successful. This is what I want to do with the rest of my life. I'm 64, so it's not like I'm your guys' ages and I have like another whatever 20 or 30 or whatever years. Like, even though I feel like I'm your guys' ages and I feel great, the truth is I'm not. And so I have to keep asking myself, if not now, then when?
So
If not,
Leslie, can we jump in?
Okay.
All right. So Leslie, what is the dream scenario after your exit?
Can I talk about my fear, what I realize what it is?
First, I want you to tell me what your vision, your positive scenario is after you exit.
Okay. The positive scenario is there is enough money to have cash flow so that I don't regret giving up this amazing cash flow, which I have right now.
Hold on. That was such a convoluted thought.
Okay.
Here's what I heard. No, I'm going to repeat back what you just said. What you just said was, my dream scenario is that I can sell my business and have enough passive income to replace the income that I just gave up by selling. It was totally fear-based. It was totally like, so that means you're afraid the business is going to go away. So you're going to sell the business so that you can invest it in things that give you the income that replace the business that you just sold. Do you see how that's a
crazy?
That's just fear at war with itself. You're afraid to keep it and you're afraid to sell it. So if you sell it and you put it into the stock market and the stock market goes down 50%, you feel like an idiot.
Yeah.
Because you're making a whole decision out of concern for money. You're completely at war in both scenarios. Am I projecting or am I close?
Yeah, I would say you're pretty close.
Okay.
Yeah.
So why do you want to sell the business to satisfy that fear? But that means the fear is still there because the stock market could go down, real estate could go down, crypto could go down.
Yeah, that's the fear part. I want to sell the business so I have time to do other things. And
that's better.
I am doing two things at the same time. I'm doing my business and I'm doing this other business. But I know that that's not sustainable. I'm a big believer in focus, and I feel like I need to do one or the other. And I feel like if I keep both of them, which I could, then the other won't ever really grow to how
Makes
I want it
sense.
to grow.
That's logical. Now, do you have a vision? If you were told you had to keep the company for 5 years, do you
Yeah.
have a vision for what that business will become?
I know it will grow in revenue. There's that vision. I know
But
what
the
could
business
happen with the
itself,
business. Sorry?
but the business itself, a vision 5 years from now, do you have one?
I don't see myself in it in 5
But the
years from now.
business itself, do you have a
Oh,
vision
for
for the
someone
business?
else taking it over? Yes.
No, no.
Oh,
The
no.
business is a living, breathing thing outside of you. Does
Yeah.
it know what it wants to be when it grows up?
Okay. Does it know what it wants to be when it grows up? I don't know if I can answer that.
That is your assignment then.
Okay. All
Because
right.
here's the thing, Leslie, there are more ways than one to crack this nut. So if you've got a $2.5 million top line and your bottom line is 400,000 or 500,000 to make the numbers easy.
Yeah.
Your bottom line is 500,000. You're going to sell that. That's less than $1 million EBITDA, which means you're probably going to get a 3 to 4 times profit, maybe 5. Like if you have a home run win, you sell that at a 5 times EBITDA and you take home $2 to $2.5 million. You pay $500,000 to $1 million in taxes, so you're left with about 1.5, maybe
Okay.
1.8. If you invest that really well and get 15%, your take-home money is now less than what it was when you held the business.
Yeah.
So another thing that you could consider, since you're already growing 20% year over year at a higher profitability than you have if you were to sell it and invest the money, another option is for you to take $91,000 and go hire an incredible operation manager who is in charge of building the vision that you cast. And you say, now I'm going to be visionary, who's going to create a bunch of connections with women and inspire them and write books. And it's going to open up all kinds of opportunities for me to hand off to Sally, who is now operations manager and better than you and came from a company that was bigger than yours and is building the vision that you cast. And it's the same thing as having an exit. Now, I'm not telling you to exit or not, but I'll tell you that if you just did that, you'll exit for more money than if you're just selling the assets of the thing that you're the solopreneur for. You actually don't have a very sellable business right now because it has no vision and no operations.
It
So
has operations. No,
operations where
I
you
have
can walk
major
away and
operations.
the business is growing in spite of you being away.
Sorry, what was that?
That you have operations to the point where you could walk away and the business still grows.
I would say I'm about 5 to 10 hours a week in.
Okay. Well, then you're
And
not
it will
as
still, and it
pulled
will
in
still
multiple
grow.
directions as you claim to be. It's just the
Yeah.
mental burden of trying to grow two things.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I'm
That's right.
going through all this because I want you to see you've got options. Like you could
Yeah.
take 90 grand and hire a wicked operations person who is in charge. You call that person a brand manager, even a COO or CEO to
Yeah.
go execute on the vision of your business. But you've got to cast that vision first. Either way, you need to do that exercise for the buyer who's going to buy you. Or you might say, I actually don't even want to be a part of this vision. And now I need to sell it to somebody who really will build what is required for this business to become. This is why the first thing we make all of our incubator students do, experienced or not, is cast that vision. Because all of the decisions that are made from that place help build the foundation for an 8-figure exit. You feel me?
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Really quick, Leslie, obviously, you know, I'm a massive fan of yours. One of the things, you know, the word fear,
Yeah.
you know, it's false evidence appearing real. And so one of the things that I would be asking myself in this time as you journal is, how do I know that that's true? Especially about things in the future, just to journal. How do I know that to be true? So the thing that I'm seeing that I think Ryan's hitting on too is that you've given yourself two options. Build this women empowering movement and the only way to get there is if I sell my business.
Right.
Right.
And
That's right.
and I want to free you from that. Even if that is the truth, I want you to create more options for yourself, because right now you're thinking cash flow, which is good and it's important. And because you're stuck in cash flow, you can't make a decision. And so
That's right.
if we remove that and say, what other options are there that would keep cash flow where it needs to be, that doesn't put pressure on X or Y, that could, and how can I make both of these two things an actual reality? How do I grow my cash flow from this while working less and building a female empowering movement in business?
Yes.
How do you know what I mean? So you can do some really powerful things, and also in 2 years sell it for way more and not even feel like you have to. I think you have so many options of like, how do I make this sellable? Well, what operations would I need to have in place for someone to look at my company and go, this thing, I want to buy it. Okay, what would that require? Like, even that might take a year. That's vision for a year while you're building this other thing, and you're going, oh, I'm making this an extremely sexy business for someone to want to buy. So now we're getting these things in place. Well, I can't do that on my own. Let me find an operations person that has experience here on getting. Do you see where my mind's going? It's like, oh, there's freedom, options.
It's not either or. It's plus. It's inclusive.
Yeah,
and it's bigger than that. But it does mean a complete mindset shift for me of going into the owner's role, the owner's model, and believing that there even is a person out there like that who can do what you're saying for $90,000 a year, which at the moment I don't believe there is, but I have to believe there is.
Well, let me shift something really quick. This comes back to identity for you, Leslie. What you're trying to create for other people, I'd be really surprised someone doesn't want to work for that kind of a person. I think this is more personal identity than it is about like, does that person exist? I think, and where Ryan started was casting that vision and seeing yourself as someone that builds things that people would be excited to join and bring their skill set to, because a lot of operations people are hungry for someone that has a real vision, and they will sacrifice a lot to do that. They will sacrifice a ton to be a part of that. Where you're thinking, but would they want to make this kind of money? Like, I don't know if they could, like, blah, 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 blah. No. Vision. I know a lot of people that took huge pay cuts to be a part of grand visions and amazing leaders because they're hungry to build something.
Okay, guys.
That's you.
Yeah.
Tell us your assignment. Tell us how you're gonna follow up, so you don't have to eat a chicken.
Okay. I'm going to brainstorm on paper about the vision for my company and what the company will look like in 5 years from now. And I'm going to open my mind, even if it's just on paper, as to what a person a person I can attract into my world that can handle operations and grow the business so I could be even less involved.
And then you're going to post that in the 1%.
And then I'm going to post that in the 1%. And Ryan, can I just ask you to repeat those numbers that you said earlier? Like you were going 2.5 million, and then you have a net of 400,000 or 500,000.
Yeah, sure. So if you don't do your assignment, you'll be eating one live chicken on the next one TOP call. Those are the numbers you wanted, right? The number of live chickens you'll need to eat. If you are taking home 500,000 a year, you'll sell this. A good valuation on a company that is only doing 500,000 in EBITDA is $2 million. So let's say you sell for $2 million. $2 million is you're going to pay 24% capital gains. So a quarter of that goes to Joe Biden. That's $1.5 million that you take home. And of course, you've got local taxes, state taxes, all that stuff, expenses, transfers, broker commissions, all of that. Let's still say it's $1.5 million.
Okay, I see.
$1.5 million invested really well. Let's say you just did great. You did great and you get 15% per year. 15% per year. And you're wanting cash flow, so you're going to live off this money. If we were talking about compounding, 1.5 million compounded means, you know, you'd have hundreds of millions of dollars by the time you die. But if you're living off cash flow, 15% of that is $225,000. 220. You've now just halved your income. You've halved your income and you don't have a business.
Yeah.
It's a cool story that you can inspire women with about how you sold your business and you've got, you know, you're now a multimillionaire on paper. But I think it's way cooler that you inspire women to say you had a $2.5 million business, you had an offer to sell, and so you decided to take it to a $7.5 million business. And if you're taking home 15% as your passive income, which is, again, really good, you're still getting less of a return than you're getting in your business because it's growing 20% year over year. So the numbers on paper suggest Leslie should keep her business. But I also understand, because I've been there, why you might decide to still sell when you're in that position. But first, we have to unravel that mental banter going on in your brain.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool. Good to see you, Leslie. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Thank you, both of you. Thank you so much.
Good to see you.
Bye, Leslie.